What's up, Terrier Nation? Sports Information Director Jared Plate here for the Hiram College Network, and this is our season preview series. Sitting to my left is head coach Kyle Mars of the Hiram women's volleyball team.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Kyle took over as the director of volleyball operations earlier this summer and is now the head coach of both the men's and the women's team for the 2018-19 season. So, Coach, thank you very much for joining me.
What's going on, man?
So let's talk a little bit about, I know we can't avoid it, so I had a couple of coaching changes over the summertime that culminated with you taking over as the head coach. So kind of three different coaching mindsets that the players have had to go through here in the last 4 or 5 months. Talk about what that transition has been like and how the girls have handled that.
Yeah, so the transition has been actually pretty good. It's been as smooth as it possibly could have been in my eyes. The reason why it's been so good is because I've worked with them in the past, just going to some of their matches from last year, being in the practice gym from last year as well. I think the main message that we sent to these girls is, hey, you are not defined by any one coach. They are bringing the talent to the court. It's our job as a staff to help them and guide them to get to where they want to be in terms of their goals. So that's been kind of what we've been trying to talk to them about, and they've taken that in stride, and have been making some great moves,
So let's talk a little bit about what your philosophy is for the women's side. I know it's a little bit different from the men's.
Sure.
The game's a little bit different on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about what the philosophy is with the team and what the women have kind of put in for themselves for this year.
Yeah, that's a great question. What we want to do is, because we aren't the biggest team, both in numbers and in size and stature, we want to really bring a defensive intensity to the court. And that's the name of the game on the women's side. I think we have a philosophy for our team that the biggest things that we want to focus on are serving and passing. If we can stay in system and play fast from an offensive standpoint, that's the best way that we can score points. And then from a defensive standpoint, the first aspect of any kind of defense is a tough serve. So if we can take teams out of system and get them to scramble a little bit more, that's going to make our job easier to try and score some points.
Excellent. So one of the advantages for any coach coming in, let alone someone that actually worked with the team in a previous year, is that having a lot of experience returning to the floor. And that we have that in spades here at Hiram.
For sure.
We have 10 letter winners, 5 of the 6 starters back on the floor for this year. Talk a little bit about just the experience that they gained last year and how it's going to help moving forward.
Yeah, with the NCAC, it's a tough conference. I mean, every match that you go into in the conference is just a dogfight. So for us to have 5 freshmen on the court last year, for those girls to come back and have similar roles, it's just going to be something for them to build on. So yeah, we have a couple of newcomers who are going to have to gel into that system. But what it's been great for is we are gelling really quickly, because all of these women are coming back and they're used to playing with each other, communicating with one another. And that's, just a really great thing to see, and it makes my job a lot easier. So
one of the people that's also going to make your job a little bit easier is your senior captain, the lone senior on the team, Holly Hoffman, back for her senior year.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about why you chose her to be your lone captain this year and what she brings to the table.
Yeah, so Holly is our lone senior, and just from a vocal standpoint, she has a presence about her, and what we've noticed in practices and stuff like that is when she's on the court, there's just a different feel from when she is off the court. And that speaks volumes to somebody like her and the impact that she brings. When she speaks up, people drop everything and listen. And whenever she speaks up too, she's got great things to say. It's not just because people respect her for her personality or stuff like that. She is just an intelligent player, and for us to have somebody like that in the setter spot is just great, so she's a huge asset to have, and we wanted to recognize her for that. But yeah, she is a senior among a lot of sophomores and freshmen, and basically she's just been a great guiding force for such a young team. So
We talked about Hoffman and kind of running your offense more so this year. Last year it was kind of a 6-2 type setting with Walker kind of playing a setter position as well as Hoffman. So it's my understanding that you're going away from that, kind of letting Holly kind of run the show, be your quarterback over the course of the year, which is going to free up who we wanted to talk about next, and that is Lindsey Walker. Walker, second team all-conference selection last year as a freshman. Moved more so towards the outside hitter position towards the end of the year and had a lot of success. That triple-double against Case Western that a lot of people might remember from last year. Talk about what she brings to the table, and then also Kiara Franks, what she's going to bring to the table for you.
Yeah, I was there for the Case Western game. That was such a fun environment. So I'm really trying to look forward to playing them again too. But yeah, it's a general principle of ours in our gym that we want our best athletes to be on the outside and on the right side pin. And what that will let us do is terminate at a higher rate. Lindsey and Kiara are giving us that chance to put balls away at a faster rate, So what we want to do is have Holly kind of take the reins and just set. I think what we found so far from the data that we've gotten is that Holly is a more consistent type of setter. I think Lindsey is such a good athlete that she can do everything well. She can pass, she can hit, she can set the ball. But when it really comes down to it, when we have someone like Holly who can put the ball in the same spot every single time and get people like Walker and Kiara great swings at a high rate, that's going to help us score more points. So that's what we're trying to roll with, and you never know, we might change that. So who knows?
So we've touched on Kiara, we've touched on Lindsey Walker. Talk a little bit more about your outsides and what do you expect from them. I know we got Madison Fortune coming back. She's a junior. You look at Kayla Cole, who's a sophomore. She had a great year last year. So talk about the outsides and what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, I think, the first one I want to talk about, Kayla. I've never seen someone who enjoys working out and getting in the weight room as much as she does. And it's starting to pay off for her. Her arm swing has gotten faster and stronger from last year. So that's going to help her put the ball away. Madison is more of a ball control type of player. She can stabilize us from a serve-receive standpoint. Both of them are going to see a lot of time, and it's our job to kind of use them in ways that's going to help us side out as much as we possibly can. Kayla is probably going to see a little bit of time on the right side as well because of her blocking. She does a great job of just getting in front of the hitter and being solid and just letting the ball hit her hands. So yeah, both of them are versatile players that can do a lot of things, and I'm super excited about our pin kind of foursome that we have. We can do a lot of mixing and matching with them. So
I've also had a sophomore transfer, Natasha DaCosta.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about what she's done in camp and what she's looking like so far.
Yeah, the first thing she did was buy a winter coat because she's from Miami. Yeah, so she's used to the beaches and stuff like that. But yeah, so she's been helping us a lot with giving us some pin depth and training in out of system. She's also been helping us figure out our blocking scheme and things like that. Natasha is used to playing a lot of beach volleyball, so she's also somebody that we can plug and play with. Maybe if we need to see another combination on the outside or on the right side, she can do a lot of skills well. So that's someone that you'll be seeing more of in the next year or two.